Hi there, in this video we are going to go over how to solve real-world problems using a system of equations. Alright, so here is our first problem. The school that Stefan goes to is selling tickets to a choral performance. On the first day of the ticket sales, the school sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 1 child ticket for a total of $38. The school took in $52 on the second day by selling 3 senior citizen tickets and 2 child tickets. Find the price of a senior citizen ticket and the price of a child ticket. Alright, so I have your 3 steps here that you need to do. Step 1 is to define the variables, which just means that you need to write out what your variables mean. So I am going to define my variables as, well, we are looking for the price of a senior citizen ticket. So I'm going to say that S is the, I'm going to say cost. Sorry, my pen is a little off right now. So I'm going to say S is the cost per senior citizen ticket. And then C is the cost per child ticket. All right. And then we're going to start making our equations. So create 2 equations involving the variables. Each variable should be in both equations. So you should have both variables, S and C, in both of your equations. All right, so the first equation, we're going to use it to describe the first day. So on the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 3 senior citizen tickets. So I'm going to write 3S because S is the S is the cost per senior citizen ticket. If 3 of them were sold, then we can show that using the expression 3S. And 1 child ticket. So we are saying plus 1C. All right, so I just modeled this expression right here. 3 senior citizen tickets and 1 child ticket for a total of $38. So we're making that equal to 38. Alrighty, next I'm going to model the second day, which 3 senior citizen tickets were sold and 2 child tickets. So we're saying 3S plus 2C is equal to, the school took in $52. All right, once you have your equations, now you can just go ahead and solve this using the elimination method. So I'm going to look at this 3S and I'm going to look at these 3 S's here. And I noticed that they are not opposite. We want to make them be opposite leading coefficients. So how I'm going to do that is I am just going to multiply one of them. You can pick which one. I'm going to make it be the second one. And I'm going to multiply or distribute. So I have negative 3S. And then I have negative 2C. And then I have is equal to negative 52. All right, and now I can go to the side here and I can solve. So 3S plus 1C equals 38. And then I'm going to put in negative 3S minus 2C is equal to negative 52. And then we can go ahead and put the plus sign here and then equals, and now we can solve. So the positive 3S and the negative 3S, those cancel. We have 1C plus negative 2C, which is negative 1C. And then we have this 38 plus negative 52, which will get us negative 14. Alrighty, and now we can divide each side by negative 1, and we get C is equal to 14. All right, so now that you know that each child ticket is 14, now we can solve for the student's tickets. So you can, not the student ticket, the senior citizen tickets. So now you can just pick one equation, which I'm going to pick this one, and just plug in C for 14, or 14 for C. So 3s plus 1 times 14 is equal to 38. All right, well, 1 times 14 is 14. And then if you subtract 14 on both sides, right now, I'm going to continue this here. We have 3s is equal to 38 minus 14, which gets us 24, divided by 3, which gets us s is equal to 8. All right, so we know our child's tickets cost $14, and now we know that our senior citizen tickets cost $8. And that is how you solve. So let's look at the next example. Here is our next example. Kristen spent $131 on shirts. Fancy shirts cost $28 and plain shirts cost $15. If she bought a total of 7, then how many of each kind did she buy? All right, so first, our two variables. We're going to call the fancy shirts F, and we're going to call P as the plain shirts. Okay, next we're going to come up with our two equations. So we know that she spent $131 on the shirts. And actually, before I continue this, let me just clarify. F is the number of fancy shirts, and P is the number of plain shirts, okay? Not the cost. We know how much the costs are. We needed the number of each. All right, so let's go back to the equation. Kristen spent $131 on shirts. Fancy shirts cost $28. So we are going to show this by doing 28F because she bought, each fancy shirt cost $28, and we don't know how many fancy shirts she bought, so it's just 28F. And then here, plain shirts cost $15, so we're going to do plus 15P is equal to 131. Alrighty, so that is the first equation. The next equation is a little bit tricky. We know that she bought a total of 7 shirts, right? So we're making it equal to 7. So we're saying that the number of fancy shirts plus the number of plain shirts is equal to 7. We don't know the number of fancy or plain shirts that she bought, so we are just writing F plus P because that is the number of fancy shirts and number of plain shirts. We don't know what they are. We do know that they total to 7, so. Alrighty, now we can manipulate one or both of the equations so that we have opposite leading coefficients. I would probably change maybe the bottom one so that I multiply it by negative 28. This way down here, I will have negative 28F minus 28P is equal to negative 28 times 7, which is 196. All right, and now let me rewrite the two equations that I'm going to use now to work with. So we are going to use 28F plus 15P is equal to 131. And we are going to use negative 28F minus 28P is equal to 196. All right. These cancel out. Now we have 15P plus negative 28P. So 15 plus negative 28P is negative 13P. And then we have 131. And actually, good thing I caught that. This should be negative 196, right? Negative 28 times 7 is negative 196. So we have here 131 minus 196, and we have negative 65. Alrighty, then divide both sides by negative 13, and we get P is equal to 65 divided by 13, and we get 5. So the number of plain shirts, 5 plain shirts. Now, you pick which equation to plug in. I'm going to use the second one. Back into the original. So F plus P equals 7. We know P is 5. So that would mean that F is equal to 2. And if you don't know, if you go to solve, you get F is equal to 2 down here. Alrighty, so 5 plain shirts and 2 fancy shirts. Alright, here is our next equation. The state fair is a popular trip destination. This year, the senior class at high school A and the senior class at high school B both planned trips there. The senior class at high school A rented and filled 8 vans and 8 buses with 240 students. High school B rented and filled 4 vans and 1 bus with 54 students. Every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. Find the number of students in each van and each bus. Alright, so first we're going to define our variables. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call V number of students in the vans, and B the number of students in each bus. So V, number of students per van, and B is the number of students per bus. Alrighty, so our first equation can be written by doing 8 vans and 8 buses with 240 students. So we've got 8 vans plus 8 buses is equal to 240 students. Next, we have high school B. So high school B is here filled 4 vans and 1 bus with 54 students. So we have 4 vans plus 1 bus is equal to 54 students. Okay, let's figure out how we're going to manipulate one or both of these equations so that they have opposite leading coefficients. I am going to choose to multiply this bottom one by -2 so that I can cancel out the v's. Alright, so -2 times 4v is -8v. -2 times 1b is -2b. -2 times 54 is -108. Alrighty, so now that I know what my 2 equations are, I'm going to rewrite them one on top of the other, right? So this is the one equation, this is the second one. So 8v plus 8b is equal to 240. -8v minus 2b is equal to -108. And now I can add and solve. So these two cancel. Now we have 8b minus 2b. So 8 minus 2 is 6b. And then we have 240 minus 108, or 240 plus -108, and we get 132. Divide each side by 6, and now we have b is equal to 22. All right, so the number of students in each bus, there are 22 students per bus. Once you get b, now you want to plug it into one of these equations, which in this case, I'm going to plug it into this second one. I think it's easier to plug it into the second one. So we have 4v plus 1b. Well, 1 times b is 22, is equal to 54. Okay, when you go to solve, minus 22 on both sides, you get 4v equals 32. And then when you divide by 4 on both sides, you do get v is equal to 8. So 22 students per bus and 8 students per van.